He spent months and a small fortune trying to make sure you would never see this footage. His legal team filed lawsuits. They used words like devastate and irreparable harm. They fought every single step of the way. And yet, here we are, the tape is out, and what it shows is so much more revealing than anyone expected. This is not just a story about a celebrity getting pulled over. This is a story about fame, denial, and what happens when the most carefully constructed public image in the music industry collides with the cold, unflinching lens of a police body camera. Justin Timberlake, the man who gave us Cry Me a River, the man who dominated the 2000s, reinvented himself twice, married a movie star, and positioned himself as one of the last true pop icons. At 45 years old, he was in the middle of a massive world tour. He had everything under control, or so everyone thought. Just after midnight on June 18, 2024, a police officer in Sag Harbor, a small, wealthy village in the Hamptons on Long Island, noticed a 2025 BMW rental car behaving strangely. The vehicle was veering out of its lane. Then it blew right past a stop sign without even slowing down. Standard stop, routine even. Until the officer asked the driver a simple question, "What brings you to town?" The man behind the wheel paused. Then he said 4 words that changed everything. "I'm on a world tour." A beat of silence. Then, "I'm Justin Timberlake." And the night went completely sideways from there. Now here's the part that his team desperately did not want the public to see. Because what happened next? On that roadside, in the back of that police car, inside that station, was not the polished, composed version of Justin Timberlake that his PR machine has spent decades building. What happened next was raw. It was uncomfortable. And it was all caught on tape. The officer asked Timberlake to step out of the car. He complied. Polite, even apologetic. But then came the field sobriety tests. Walk a straight line, heel to toe. Stand on one leg. Follow the flashlight with your eyes. Simple instructions for someone who had only, as Timberlake himself claimed, consumed one single martini. One drink. In 2 hours, that was his story. But the body camera tells a different story entirely. He stumbled, more than once. He struggled to maintain his balance. And then, in a moment that has already become one of the most talked about lines of 2024, Justin Timberlake looked at the officers and said, completely straight, "By the way, these are like really hard tests." The officers said nothing. The camera kept rolling, and then it got worse. Before the handcuffs came out, Timberlake turned to the officers and said quietly, "I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous." He pressed a hand to his chest. "My heart's racing." It was a genuinely human moment, a crack in the armor, and it only made what came next more surreal. The handcuffs clicked, and that's when his female friend, who had been out with him and her husband that evening, appeared on scene. And what she did next was something straight out of a Hollywood movie, except somehow even more unbelievable. She was shocked. She was panicked. She begged the officers to let him go. She offered to drive his car home. She said, and we are not making this up. She looked at those officers and said, "You love, bye. You're on sexy back." She invoked NSYNC to a police officer on a Hamptons roadside at 1 a.m. And here is the wildest part of all. It actually worked. Sort of. The officers allowed her to briefly speak to Timberlake as he sat in the back of the police car before they drove him to the station. A small mercy, a perk of being who he is, but a mercy nonetheless. And then came the moment that no amount of legal maneuvering could have prepared anyone for. Sitting behind the cage of the officer's vehicle, glassy-eyed and processing what was happening, Justin Timberlake asked, "Why are you arresting me?" Not rhetorical. He genuinely seemed confused. The dissonance between who he believed himself to be and what was actually happening to him was visible, on camera, forever, at the police station. He was told he would be held overnight until arraignment. His response, "I'm gonna be here all night. You guys are wild, man." He asked the officers to leave the light on in his cell as they closed the door. Now remember, his legal team had spent weeks fighting tooth and nail to stop you from seeing any of this. They called the footage an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. They said it would cause severe and irreparable harm to his reputation. They sued the village of Sag Harbor. They used every legal tool available to a celebrity with unlimited resources. And still, the tape came out because in March of 2026, after a local newspaper publisher had been waiting nearly 2 years for the footage under a Freedom of Information request, the village and Timberlake's team finally reached a settlement. A redacted version was released. And the internet absolutely exploded. In September of 2024, Timberlake pleaded guilty to a reduced charge. Driving while ability impaired, a non-criminal traffic violation. He paid a $500 fine. He was given a 90-day license suspension. He completed community service. And as part of his plea deal, he recorded a public safety announcement about the dangers of drunk driving. The original DWI charge, the one that could have followed him legally for years, was dropped entirely. His attorney maintained from the beginning that Justin was not intoxicated, that he had 1 drink in 2 hours, that he never should have been arrested. But the footage exists, the stumbling exists, the heart racing exists. That these are like really hard tests, line exists. And now the entire world has seen it, no matter how hard he tried to stop them. So here's what nobody is actually saying out loud. If the tape is as harmless as his team insisted, why spend months and serious legal resources trying to bury it? Was this about protecting his image during the tour? Protecting his marriage? Protecting the carefully engineered comeback narrative? Or is there something else in those 8 hours of footage we still haven't seen? Drop your theory in the comments right now, because this story is not as closed as his team wants you to believe. And if you want the truth before the rest of the internet catches up, subscribe. Because we are just getting started.